I recently had a case where the mother came in and told me how she had a very severely autistic child, such so that she couldn't even say her name, date of birth, or really speak up in a coherent, competent way. The child's father, which was mother's ex, was living in another state, and she would from time to time go down and visit. And the father dearly loved this child, as did the mother. And the mother and the father had a very good working, amicable relationship, much to their credit. The father had the child and would put the child into a car seat because the child, again, was not competent, and they wanted to assure her safety whenever traveling in an automobile. The child recently had reached puberty, where she started to menstruate, which obviously was a different occurrence and feeling from soup to nuts for this child. And the child made some statements to her therapist when she returned back to Massachusetts. The therapist reported, in good faith, to DCF suspicion of child abuse. More importantly, sexual abuse. So DCF, much to their credit, went out and investigated. And they wanted to speak to father. Well, mother had the information. So they called mother and they wanted to interview mother. So we met with mother, and mother was very, very put off by the allegations of sexual abuse, and well, she should. She did the right thing. She called and met with us, and we met with DCF with the mother. At the end of that interview, DCF had all the information regarding the father. They met with the child. They knew the child was basically incompetent, not able to really tell a coherent story, as the therapist had indicated, and that the father deeply loved this child, and that the child would visit, and the child did visit, and there was no signs of any type of penetration or sexual abuse of any kind. But DCF had to do their job. At the end of this investigation, however, DCF turned around and supported an allegation of neglect against the mother, which they never indicated they were going to do, or they were investigating her, and they violated her due process rights. And some mother filed for an appeal which successfully was overcome. But the moral of the story is, whenever you're involved with DCF, and even if you're not the party that's being complained of, DCF can and has turned the tables and made the parent who's not being investigated support a decision against them. And you say, how can they do that? It's a good question. It's a good question that even DCF has a difficult time trying to answer. But whenever you're involved with DCF, whether it's a complaint against you or not against you, be on guard. Have your hands raised. Be ready to defend yourself and your children. Do not take it for granted DCF's your friend or your ally. They do not have to be your enemy, but they are not your friend, they're not your ally. And please do not take legal advice from DCF. Speak to a lawyer about the protocol, the process, and the procedures. What you don't know is what can hurt you. Ignorance of the law is no defense. You've got to know your legal rights. If you don't know what your legal rights are, you have no legal rights. The U.S. Constitution says we the people. That includes you, and that includes your children. Protect yourself, protect your children, positively.